They said America was asleep. But on December 7th, 1941, something hit the nation so hard it woke up with fire in its veins. Why did the US charge into World War II with a fury the world had never seen? Stay with me, because this story is darker, stranger, and far more explosive than the textbook version. Before we dive in, hit subscribe for more haunting World War II stories.
It began at dawn, a quiet Sunday in Hawaii. Sailors polishing railings, cooks preparing breakfast. No alarms, no warnings, just the calm before history's most violent sucker punch. Then, like the sky itself split open, Japanese bombers roared over Pearl Harbor, engines screaming, torpedoes skimming water. The U.S. Pacific Fleet sat exposed, like prey that never saw the predator coming. Within minutes, battleships were burning. Men were diving into oil-slicked water. The USS Arizona erupted in a fireball so powerful it shook the earth. America didn't just lose ships, it lost an illusion. For decades, the US believed oceans were walls, that geography meant safety. But that morning, as smoke rose over Oahu, those invisible walls collapsed. Suddenly, war wasn't over there. It was here.
President Franklin Roosevelt was briefed in cold fragments. Bombings, torpedoes, heavy casualties. Each word like a nail sealing a coffin. And deep inside, Roosevelt understood. America had crossed a point of no return. The Japanese strategy was brutal but clear. Cripple America, shock the nation into surrender, remove the Pacific Fleet as a threat before it ever moved. They believed the US was too divided, too isolated, too hesitant to strike back. But they miscalculated something. Something intangible. Something that cannot be measured on maps or in naval diagrams. They underestimated American rage. Across the country, enlistment offices were overwhelmed. Men lined up in freezing weather. Farmers, bankers, plumbers, students, fathers leaving crying children at train stations. Every one of them fueled by the same fire. This will never happen again. Congress didn't debate for days. It didn't negotiate. It didn't hesitate. Within 24 hours, the U.S. declared war. A nation once reluctant suddenly stood like a giant awakened mid-nightmare. Factories that once built cars now forged tanks. Children collected scrap metal. Women filled assembly lines, tightening bolts on bombers. The United States had shifted into full-scale war mode, and it was only the beginning. But vengeance wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. The US wanted to break Japan's military spine, piece by piece. This meant striking deep into Japanese territory, far deeper than anyone thought possible. Enter Colonel James Doolittle, a man with a reputation for doing the impossible. He proposed a raid that sounded suicidal, launch US bombers from an aircraft carrier and hit Tokyo itself. On April 18, 1942, 16 B-25 bombers lifted off from the USS Hornet. The ocean was rough, the runway too short. Yet, one by one, they leapt into the sky. America's message to Japan was simple. You started this, we're coming. The bombs didn't destroy Tokyo's war machine, but their psychological impact was devastating. Japan realized the US was not a wounded animal. It was a furious beast. And the United States wasn't done, not even close. Every battle after Pearl Harbor was driven by a single burning memory. Smoke over Hawaii, ships sinking, American lives taken without warning. Midway, Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, Okinawa. Each victory was a step toward crushing the empire that struck first. Each loss strengthened U.S. resolve. But the U.S. didn't just want victory.
It wanted closure, justice, a world where no enemy could ever again strike its homeland and expect silence in return. By 1945, the US had pushed Japan back to its doorstep. Bombers darkened the sky, cities burned, and the world realized the full consequences of Pearl Harbor. It had unleashed America's industrial and military fury.
Then came the moment that would end the war and change humanity forever. The atomic bombs. Hiroshima first, Nagasaki second. Not decisions made lightly, but decisions born from 4 years of blood, fire, and the memory of Pearl Harbor.
When the smoke finally settled, Japan surrendered. The war ended. But the question remained, why did America fight so fiercely? Why such relentless vengeance? Because Pearl Harbor wasn't just an attack on ships. It was an attack on identity, on pride, on the illusion of invincibility. And once struck, the United States responded the only way it knew how, with overwhelming force. The world would never forget the day America woke up. And America would never forget the day it vowed, this will never happen again. And that is why the US joined World War II. Not slowly, not reluctantly, but with a vengeance so powerful, it reshaped the entire planet. If you want more of dark history videos like this, subscribe.